Hello, my lovely. You didn't get to where you are in your business by doing shit the way that everybody else does. And you know that what got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you want to be. And if you are listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be the go-to for what you do better than anyone else. Your brilliance is the niche. Being you, that bold, unfuckwithable presence that you've secretly been craving to set free, she is in there. And that means you will have to burn some old bridges down. And attracting your people will also repel those who are not for you. Fucking hooray. Becoming a force of nature business and brand means no more Miss People Pleaser, no more hiding your turbo brain, no more dimming down jack shit. And if you have ever been told to tone it down as a woman with ADHD, it's time to tone your shit all the way the fuck back up. That is how you create unstoppable momentum in your business and visibility that is something you've been avoiding, but that you truly want. This podcast is about stepping into your upgrade, watering down anything, never change the fucking world. You were not born to be forgettable. And as one of my all-time favorite quotes says, well-behaved women rarely make history, and nothing about you or me is well-behaved, at least not anymore. In today's episode, we're going to talk about confidence. Confidence is not always loud. Confidence comes from conviction. Confidence comes from being comfortable in your own skin. It doesn't have to be vocally loud. It doesn't have to be visually loud. It is about conviction. And I know this may be surprising, but I was not always confident. I was not always confident in my skills as a coach. I was not always confident in myself. Actually, it's only been the last couple of years. And I am going to walk you through some of the to me, find more of my confidence, and you may see some of yourself in these things. So, from one force of nature to another, turn the volume up to an 11, and welcome to the Feral Women's Club. Welcome back to the ADHD Entrepreneu, the podcast for feral ADHD women in business who refuse to play by the fucking rules because they're made up anyway, right? Right. My name is Carrie. I'm your host. I'm the chief weirdo of Carrie Out Loud. If you are new, welcome. I am so glad you found the freaking podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you love this episode. If this episode has an impact on you or helps you in any way, please do me a quick favor. Go to Apple or Spotify and subscribe. Turn on the notifications so you can be reminded to come back every Wednesday and leave a 5-star rating and a review of the episode you listen to. This helps other women like you find the podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, hi, it's good to see you. Since I understand your ADHD, both professionally and personally, each episode has business expertise that is filtered through the lens of having a feral funhouse of a brain known as ADHD. So if you're late diagnosed or self-diagnosed, or you were diagnosed when you were younger, all are welcome here, baby. My approach to life and business is all about focusing on the upsides of our beautiful Technicolor brains and seeing them as an advantage, while also acknowledging that there are hard parts that are very, very real, but they are also manageable, right? And I don't believe ADHD is a disability. And I know that ADHD women can do whatever the fuck they set their minds to, period. So if that is not your jam, if you do not have the same beliefs, I might not be your jam, and that's totally okay. I am not offended. But if you do share my point of view, stick around. So let's get into it. I am a loudmouth and I am confident, but I wasn't always confident. However, I've always been a loudmouth. I want to talk to you a little bit about how I got to where I am now and how I've built some of the confidence that I have now, because it was not always like this. Like whatsoever. I used to doubt every little thing I said or did or move that I made. And so I'm going to go over a handful of things that really help me build my confidence in my business. And that also carries over into just my day-to-day life. So here's how I built it. One, I got my ADHD diagnosis and I realized that I am good to go exactly as I am. Even ADHD just coming onto my radar and me thinking, this may be something I deal with or I contend with. That's interesting. Even just that knowledge helped me start to understand some of the things I had contended with in my life. And I started feeling less unworthy and less doing things that's doing less things that sacrificed my own self and my own well-being. Just the knowledge that this may be a thing for so many women really makes a huge difference. And I know that was the very first piece of me finally starting to feel comfortable in my own skin and have the confidence to do the things that I need to do to help the human beings in my business that I want to help and to really show up. I had one of my mentors, I was struggling at one point in my business, and she mentioned that I might have a problem with allowing myself to be seen. And I was like, okay, yeah, she's kind of hit the nail on the head. Yeah, that's definitely an issue because there's like a fear of being more seen means you are more open to judgment and criticism, blah, blah, blah. But that also blocked me from getting to the people that I wanted to help. And when I realized that helping the people I wanted to help mattered more than people who judged me or whatever in their own minds, who don't really matter at all. Once I realized that I can't let them get in the way of me finding the people who do truly need the help that I'm able to give, I let some of that go big time. The second one, you may have heard me tell this story more than once, but it's really true. One of my lovely clients held up a mirror asking me, why aren't you showing up the way we see you on calls and on your social media, the person we see behind the scenes? Like that's why we're here. That's what we love. I realized I was still holding in a lot of the things that my clients, my friends, etc., the things that they love about me, I had a real hard time making them forward facing until suddenly I didn't. And it was kind of that moment when my client said that to me. I love you, Andy. When she said that to me, it wasn't in a way to call me out. It was like, let yourself free. And I did. And it was very, very, very liberating. And even though I had been unmasking for a while, it was kind of like one of the last parts of the words are hard. The last parts, the last masks really just flew off. And I was like, well, all right, I'm just all in. I'm exactly who I am and I'm going to be good with that. And if there's people who don't like that, that's okay. I can't worry about every single solitary human being on the face of the planet. The only person I actually have control over is myself. I have control over my reactions and my responses. I don't have control over anything else. So I had to let that go. Next, hiring business mentors and coaches who are like 50, 100 steps ahead of me instead of like 5, right? Stretching, working with humans who were going to stretch me, who were going to call me out or point things out or give me true constructive feedback because they were so much further down than I was. And it's not like they're better than me or ahead of me or anything like that. They're just further down the road that I'm on, right? Being in places like that also put me around other women doing business who were also that far ahead of me. And frankly, the money that I spent and getting into those places has been worth it tenfold, because when you're growing, there are just questions you don't even know you need to ask, right? So I had somebody recently, they did my intake questionnaire and they're like, I didn't even think about these questions, right? But because I'm a mentor who's further down the road, again, not better, just further down the road, there are questions I know to ask that are going to help you and help propel you forward, right? Just like my mentors and coaches have done for me. I've had 3 and they're all very different. They've all given me different things, right? Now I'm in this place where it's a lot more nuance and hands-on that I want. And I have an incredible mentor that is exactly how she is and what she's like. And I just love that about her. So making sure that you are in places that stretch you outside of your comfort zone, because it goes comfort zone, fear zone, learning zone, growth zone, right? If you want to grow, you have to get into that fear, and then you start learning, and then you really stretch and grow. So just keep that in mind, that fear is a natural part of learning and growing. Next, having the right people around me, truly, as far as other women in business. So having cheerleader type of women is not what I'm talking about. Like, rah, 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 you're so great. I love you. You know, that's lovely. That's nice, you know, when people look up to you and whatnot. However, I want women who see me and my brain and love how I do shit because they know I care and they feel seen. I'm not here to just give TED Talks and raise you up. I'm also here to make sure that you understand, I actually care about where you're going and that you feel seen. I want the same, right? In the people around me. They're not just going to tell me what I want to hear. As much as we rebel against constructive criticism or feedback, we also fucking need it. Like, don't lie to yourself. If we want to grow, we have to have somebody outside looking in going, you know, this, that, the other thing, like helping us see those blind spots or things that just maybe are not connecting. It's really, 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 really fucking important. The next thing that helped me build my confidence in my business was getting in the reps with humans that I wanted to help, meaning the personality type, their business type, really seeing what my skill sets were, working with a broad, general amount of human beings to truly see what my best assets are. And although I have a lot of skills, and there are many, focusing on the shit that I'm obsessed with and doing that because it is in my wheelhouse, meaning I focus on simplification as a whole, is the thing that truly helped me become even more excited about my business than I already had been, because now I'm getting paid to do what I love, not just getting paid to do something because I can. I actually honed in on what I love doing, and it's helping slingshot women who feel like they're in growth mode and can't get out, like just helping them with those tips to move forward so they can fucking shoot forward and get out of that awkward place, right? I'm really, really good at that. And branding and, you know, growth in general, and how to find the right kind of clients for you and how to position, like, right, all of those things, but they all fall under simplification. When my clients find out I can do something they didn't expect, guess what? It's like just a bonus for them, right? Because sometimes they'll be like, man, I really need somebody to help me with XYZ. And I go, oh, I can do that. They're like, you can? Well, yes. If it's something I actually enjoy doing, I will help them. If not, I will find somebody who can, right? I want my clients to be fully supported. So understanding that getting in those reps as a coach or having clients who, as a service provider, where you do all kinds of different things and really figuring out like the things you just fucking love and going more deep into doing those things because they're just the things not only do you love, but that you're fucking good at, and that's what you get paid for. You will resent your business. You will not hit a point where you resent your business because you have the exact kind of clients that you love working with and you're doing the work that you absolutely love. that helps you have a lot more confidence. I know it did for me. Just putting in the reps, getting in the time, figuring those things out. Next, being confident, not egotistical. We all have an ego, okay? Like in some way, shape, or form, ego will show up. Some people more than others, right? But there is a difference. However, if you're not tooting your own horn, if you're not talking about the things that you do the best, or that you know in your soul you are so good at helping people with, if you don't do that, who will? Once you build a reputation, there will be other people, I jokingly call them our Swifties, who will go out and speak about our names to their friends and to other people who may need us based on, what it is that we do, what we help with, right? But for the most part, having confidence and conviction in what you do and speaking that way instead of using wishy-washy language like, if you want to work with me, or maybe, or I think so. Stop that shit. Get into your confidence era, baby. Right? That's not ego. That is deeply understanding that you know what you're doing and how you help others, and being in that energy. That is attractive. That is attractive to somebody who really needs to see that is something they can do too. It's got a ripple effect, big time. The next thing that really helped with my confidence was going inward after my diagnosis. I got therapy for 3 months to contend with the feelings that I had that I was not expecting, like rage, sadness, feeling frustrated over loss of time, and then finding the hope, finding the relief. But I went 3 months straight every week. It took me 4 months to start because I was just like in that dark night of the soul, like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? Even though I asked to be assessed, like there were all these emotions I didn't expect. So I kind of pushed it off. But feelings, you have to walk through those feelings. You literally have to walk through those feelings to get to the other side, because if you keep going around them, they're going to keep showing up. So through, even though it feels hard, once you are through, you're not going to have to keep revisiting that shit. And that will help you feel a lot more confidence over time. If therapy is not an option for you, finding somebody who perhaps has ADHD as well and is newer diagnosed that you can talk to and who understands can also be helpful. Hiring an ADHD coach who can help you with coping mechanisms for your life. They're not a therapist. They don't look at like your history and your past and tell me about your childhood. No, they help you plan for now and the future. That's another option that's available to you. There's all kinds of things that are out there available to you, but contend with those things and give yourself a lot of grace in that during that time. It's so important. Had I not done that, I don't know if I would quite be as far along as I am now, a couple of years out, right? Next, in going inward, I've talked about this a lot, but putting the blinders on. I put blinders on for 8 months or so and only worked with my mentor that I had carefully chosen. I stopped looking at what anyone else was doing, what anyone else was creating, and everything I was doing and creating finally was of me. It came from me, all the way deep inside me. And it's evolved over the last 2 years. But once I got here with my brand, with who I help, creating the anti-framework playbook, like my library where I take everything that I've ever learned in business over the last 25 years and filtered it through the lens of ADHD, right? I'm so proud of that thing coming to life and how I show up as my most genuine, feral, loud, loving, sincere, compassionate person when I just kept showing up as all of those pieces. Because when people are like, wow, you really do care about your people, I'm like, yes, I do. Like I think about my clients' businesses all the time. I'm obsessed. I love the work that I do. I love figuring it out, solving puzzles, solving issues, finding ways to connect things that are disconnected. I see businesses as kind of like a puzzle, and how can I make this puzzle picture look as complete as possible and help the person who owns the business do that in a way that works for their brain, right? And once people started seeing that side of me and truly understanding that that is me, that is how I am built, like I couldn't be any other way. I love the deep dive. I mean, what ADHD like surface anything? We don't. We like the deep dive, right? More confidence came when I leaned in to all of those attributes about myself that I would just try to hide, because being loving and being sincere also means I've been taken advantage of, that other people have seen or mistaken my silence and kindness for weakness. And that's a them thing. That was never my fault. But of course, with ADHD, especially undiagnosed, you always think shit is your fault. Oh, that's my fault. I did that. Well, what did I do? What did I say? No. It's usually not that. It's just sometimes people don't understand us or get us. And that's not an us problem. That's a their problem. Right. So when I really, truly got that, it really helped me feel a lot more free to just be the open, loving, caring, really, truly give a shit person that I am, and not worry about that feeling of, oh, someone's going to take advantage of me. Because I also now have learned this special word, starts with a B. It's called boundaries. Boundaries are kind. Clear boundaries are kind to yourself and kind to the people in your life and kind to your clients. They're not rude or standoffish. Having boundaries is a great thing because everybody's clear, and clear is kind, right? Confidence is one of the best side effects of my diagnosis, right? But borrowing somebody else's belief in me until I could see it for myself really helped. That included my closest friends, like my friend Pilar, who I've known for years. She's my gym friend. I see her several days a week. My business sisterhood, who is not behind a paywall. They're just my friends who I talk business with. My chosen mentors, who were many levels beyond where I am on my own road, and not being afraid to hire them. The last part took deep self-trust. When I was newer, I sometimes invested willy-nilly. Now I invest with intention, right? And I actually have strategy in my business now. I understand that intention and strategy don't mean a straitjacket, or that I can't have the flexibility and freedom, because it's strategy and intention that works for my brain. It's strategy and intention that works for me, right? And the last thing that really helped me with my confidence came when I remembered, and this is in 2021. I was told this, and I was like, oh, yeah, that. I brushed this off, right? Was I now currently have about 26 years of business experience. I have since 2019 or so. I've experienced since then here in the online arena, and remembering that I had the 20 something years of experience back in 2021, right? I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that. My mentor was like, what's a unique thing about you, about your business? And there's nothing unique about me. Okay. And having her go, oh, so you're 20 something years of business experience, that's not a unique factor. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is. With ADHD, it's we just don't realize that those things are assets, because it's just part of who we are, right? That doesn't count. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it fucking does. All of your past experience, whether it's in corporate or owning other business, or having a business you had and then failed, and doing something new and different again and building that, all of that, it all it all matters, right? So I can see the shit that is holding ADHD women back because I was there. And I can help you cross over the bridge into becoming more of a leader. I love working with emerging leaders and women who really want to shake shit up. They want to break the rules, they want to do things bigger, their way, whatever that looks like. Wreck the rules, right? I love that. And being one of one at what they do. Why? Because I can absolutely do that. And I say it like I mean it, because I do mean it. I totally mean it. So that is kind of like the breakdown of how I finally found confidence in myself. But it also, this feeling permeates every area of my life now. Like I'm confident and comfortable in a lot of the things that I say and I do without even a second thought. Am I saying I don't overthink things? No, of course. I'm human. See, it's like you forget you're not a robot. You're human. You're going to feel certain things. You're going to be frustrated some days. You're going to have fucking potato days in your business. You're going to have times where you want to pull your hair out. That's called being human. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Period. And then the thing that I would say is the final thing is I stopped trying to be neurotypical. I stopped trying to believe that somehow I could force myself to be different than I am and just allowing it all to be there. There's nothing to fix. I'm not broken. I don't need a cure, etc. I'm great as is. Yeah, I can't do the laundry or shit. I fucking hate doing the dishes, but give me your business and I will find your holes and your gaps and tell you how to fix them. And it's probably a simple tweak that you can't see because you're just not close enough to you're just too close to your business. And I have more of a bird's eye view. Plus it's fun for me. You know, that thing with Tony Stark where he's like doing all this stuff in the air and like moving things around. Like that's how I see businesses, right? So I hope that you can take what you need from this episode and start speaking with more conviction in your business. Stop using as much wishy-washy language and use more confident language. Be what you're becoming. Be what you are becoming. The proof will show up. I promise you. I promise you. It will. The road will rise to meet you. It will happen. Trust that. Trust your own road because you have no idea where it's going to take you. And that's kind of part of the fun, right? Keep being a risk taker. Keep getting out of that fear zone and into the learning zone and the growth zone. Keep doing that. I'm not saying push yourself into burnout or drill yourself into the ground. I'm saying ground yourself in the things that you know and lean in. You're fucking amazing. You really are. And I hope that you will find the way to believe that. That's not ego. That's you rooting for you. That's gratitude for who you are. That's celebrating who you are. Celebration is gratitude. Celebrate your uniqueness. Okay? Please. You have beautiful, unique wiring. You are not a mistake. You are by fucking design, not default. Act like it. And with that, I'm going to end today's episode. If you would like to book a free clarity call with me, my contact information is in the show notes, or you can DM me on Instagram at carryoutloud. They're 30 minutes. I ask you questions to get clear about what you need in your business. And it's really fact finding for me to see if I can help you. And we go from there. Plus, I am not a sit on your head kind of person. We're all grown-ups here. I give you your options based on your needs and what program or what offer I have that I think fits you the best. And the next part really is in your hands. Also, if you love this episode, please tell everyone in your business sisterhood, like drop the little linkaroonie in your group chat, or send me a note by carrier pigeon, what you love, drop into my DMs. Let me know what you got out of the episode. One of my core values is deep connection. And I love hearing from people who listen to the podcast like you. So until next week, I see you. I love you. I am fucking rooting for you always. Stay untamed, stay wild, stay feral, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, hey, you're still here. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the ways to follow me. And of course, my goal is to find and help as many women with ADHD get away from the 9-to-5 grind, because it's just not designed for our neurospicy brilliance, and there are other ways to do life. So by subscribing, sharing, and giving a 5-star review, it helps other women find this podcast as well. And if there's an episode you really love, please feel free to take a screenshot and share it on your social and tag me in it so that I can thank you personally. Until next time, you spicy brained unicorn. Bye.